Hey everyone, I just wanted to make this little video to give just a bit of an update about where I am right now. I say update, I'm not updating anything, I suppose more just like a bit of information because I feel like it's sort of affecting the channel at the moment, and I know that there are certain videos people have been waiting for. I have had some people asking me like, when is this video coming out? When is this video coming out? And fair, because there's like a lot of videos that I've been like planning or working on like kind of for a while now, and they aren't materializing. God, those two charmed ranking videos I recorded in June of last year and only put them up a couple of weeks ago, which is wild. That's how long it took me to get around to editing them. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of update. So essentially, just to get right to the point, I recently got diagnosed with another health condition because I collect them like infinity stones. Um, and it's called POTS. It's a chronic illness. It stands for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and it's a problem with the autonomic nervous system. If that all sounds like a load of words, you've no idea what any of them mean. Me too, because I didn't have a clue. I was vaguely aware of the existence of POTS because I'd like read it in like a Tumblr post or something, like someone talking about it a long time ago, like years ago. And I suppose it just lodged itself in my brain somewhere of just something that I was kind of aware of, but I didn't really know anything about it until I went to the doctor and they were like, I think you have POTS. And I was like, oh. um, so basically what POTS is, it's a problem with your body where your heart races whenever you stand up. So you go from like sitting down or lying down to standing. Whenever you're upright, your heart beats too fast. It's to do with like circulation, blood flow getting from your legs to your heart, and if it doesn't get there fast enough, your heart starts to overcompensate, beats too fast. It's all this kind of thing. It's to do with just your body. It's about like your blood pressure and your heart rate and your circulation are supposed to work in sync with each other, but when they don't work in sync with each other, this happens, basically. In very, very layman's terms, I am not a doctor, but from what I can understand from what the doctors have told me, that's kind of the general idea of how it works. And I, as much as it's a chronic illness, I've only just developed it because it can be triggered by viral illness. And my doctor told me that it has seen an increase since the pandemic because it's being triggered in people by COVID. The COVID virus is triggering POTS, and people who have had COVID are finding that they've recovered from the COVID and then developed POTS after. It's actually one of the things that when people are being like diagnosed with long COVID, a lot of the times, or at least some of the time, the long COVID is actually POTS. But because it's come from the COVID, you know, they're being told they have long COVID, or they haven't been diagnosed but they feel that they have long COVID because they've still got these symptoms of like breathlessness and fatigue and everything for like a long time after having it, that they're like, I must have long COVID, when actually it's a separate condition but it's been triggered by COVID. So I had COVID last year, tail end of last year, for the third time, unfortunately. I've had COVID twice before. I had it before, I caught it before the country went into lockdown in March of 2020 because I was still commuting to work on a bus and a train every day and managed to catch it right at the start of the pandemic. And then I caught it at New Year of 2020, 2023? I can't remember. I know it was New Year. I just can't remember which New Year it was. Because I came down with it. I literally tested positive on New Year's Day. And I'm like, can you have a worse start to the year, truly? Like, what a great start to the new year. But yeah, so I came down with it again at the end of last year. And I recovered, but then I noticed I developed this constant heart thing. And I've always had heart palpitations. Like, I get, you know, not constantly, but like I feel them occasionally. Like, I'll just be like walking along and I'll be like, oh, palpitation. So at first I didn't think anything of it, but then I noticed it was getting more frequent and more excessive, and then eventually got to the point where it was like really bad, where it wasn't palpitations anymore. It was like a full-on, it felt like I'd just done a 100-meter sprint. Like, my heart was thumping. I could hear it roaring in my ears. I could hear it hammering in my chest. And I was like, that's not normal. That's not good. And I was scared because I didn't know what it was. You know, I didn't have a clue what was going on. I thought it was like going into heart failure or something. Like, so I went to the doctor, had a whole load of tests done to rule out all different things. I had an ECG done. I had a whole load of blood tests. And they, all of the things came back clear. So the one thing that they assumed that it must be then is POTS. And from reading other people's stories online on the like POTS UK website, seeing people talk about it on the internet, my experience does definitely line up with other people's experiences. So I think that's a completely correct diagnosis. You know, it's one of those things where it's hard. It's harder to diagnose because it's like because it doesn't show up in like blood tests and stuff like that. So you can't just kind of like do a blood test and it comes back and it says like, oh, you're this level. You know, if you test for something like anemia, you know, you can see in the blood count whether or not you have it. Whereas POTS is something where it's more about looking at your symptoms and figuring out if your symptoms match with the criteria. But I feel like mine absolutely do. So I think my doctor got it completely correct on this one. And it makes a lot of sense because it develops from viral infections, and I just had COVID. And on top of that, like it's more common in women, and I'm a woman. It's more common in people between the age of 15 and 50, and I'm 28. It's more common in people who have pre-existing autoimmune conditions, and I have celiac disease. And it's more, obviously it develops if you've had COVID, and I just had COVID. So I think we can safely say that I've hit the criteria for someone who would most likely develop POTS. The reason really that I'm going into all this is just because my main kind of, the primary symptom of POTS obviously is the heart rate thing, but there are also a bunch of like other symptoms that go along with it. And people's experiences are different. Like any syndrome, everyone sort of has their own personal experience, their own personal set of symptoms. For me, it's very much the heart rate is obviously the main thing, but the kind of two other big symptoms that I'm having are the breathlessness and the fatigue. And the fatigue is really annoying because I'm not really a person who gets especially tired. Like, this is going to sound ridiculous, but I've suffered with insomnia since I was literally a baby. Like, you know, when you're a baby and you don't sleep very well and your parents are like, oh, like this baby never sleeps. Like, I was that baby, except that I was that baby for the entire 28 years of my life. I'm still that baby. I'm a terrible sleeper. I take ages to fall asleep. When I am asleep, I wake up during the night. It's if there's any sound, I have to sleep with like big ear defenders on, because if there's any kind of sound anywhere, like 3 streets away, if a squirrel like lands on a wheelie bin, I will hear it. It's a nightmare. But as a result, I'm quite used to cutting about with not a lot of sleep. Like I don't need a massive amount of sleep because my body is sort of adjusted to not having a huge amount of sleep. Whereas at the moment, I feel tired a lot, and that's a kind of a new experience for me, to be so tired all the time. A couple of weeks ago, I went out shopping at the weekend. I'd been out for a few hours, you know, I'd gone to the supermarket, I'd gone into town, blah, 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 just shopped. Came home and then lay on the couch for 2 hours and couldn't get up. And that's not me. That's not me at all. And I was lying there like, this is a Saturday afternoon, you're wasting your weekend, get up and do something. And I just couldn't. Like, I just could not find the will to get off the couch. And I just lay there feeling, I could have had a nap, and I don't do that. I am not, I know some people do like nap during the day. I'm not a nap person. I don't sleep during the day ever, unless I'm like ill. Like, I don't sleep during the day. And I was like, I could just fall asleep. And I'm like, girl, don't. That's, don't do it. That's not you. That's not who you are. But yeah, so I'm definitely experiencing the fatigue, and the breathlessness is a real kicker. I get out of breath quite easily at the moment. It depends. What I have discovered is that POTS is definitely one of those conditions that has good days and bad days. And on a good day, it's not such a big issue. Today so far has been a good day. It's only, what, 9:30 in the morning, but so far I'm feeling quite good today. So I'm not out of breath. I'm feeling all right. But there are days where I just feel really, really crap. I feel really tired, as if all the energy has been sapped from me. I feel breathless and just exhausted, really. And every time I stand up, the heart races, which just is really, really horrible and uncomfortable. So I don't want to get up, you know, I don't want to get up and do stuff. I just want to sit still on the couch, because every time I move and try and do something, it triggers it, and that's really unpleasant. So I'm just like, I'm just going to sit here and do nothing, which annoys me, because I am one of those people who is like, has this insane guilt where if I'm not being productive, if I'm not getting enough things done in my day, if I'm not getting through my to-do list, I get really, really, I'm really hard on myself for it. It's a real problem. It's always been a problem with me. It's one of the things that really kind of affects my mental health, is if I'm not being productive enough, if I'm not doing enough things with my time, I get really, really, I'm really cruel to myself for that. And I really, like, my brain will turn on me and just make me feel like a terrible human being for not getting enough things done. And it did say that when I was reading about it online, it said, you know, like, about any chronic illness, is you have to kind of learn to reframe your thoughts and kind of learn to be kinder to yourself, and learn to accept that you have limitations and you need to respect your body and respect what your body can and can't do. And it said that, you know, you can go and get CBT and stuff for that, which I'm not thinking that I need full on CBT or whatever at the moment, but I can understand why people would feel like that, because there is definitely like a mental reframing to kind of accept that, like, okay, you're going to feel like shit today. You need to you need to not make yourself feel worse by being hard on yourself. Your body can only do what it can do. Don't be a dick to yourself about it. Because there was, like, last week, I'd been planning to record this video that I wrote way back in December. I'd worked really hard on it. It took me ages to write it, and I was feeling really proud of it. And I had a day to myself last week, and I was like, I'm going to record that video. It's going to be so good, blah, blah, blah. Woke up that morning, got out of bed, felt like crap. Just stood up and was like, oh no, today is not going to be a good day. And it wasn't. And I was like, I can't record this because it's going to make me feel sick. Like, if I, obviously, you know, sitting talking for ages, because with the length of the script, it's probably going to take me a couple of hours to record it, especially because I stumble over my words, and I'm really bad at reading from script. I really do, like, completely. I always stumble over my words and repeat myself. And if I did a blooper reel for the state that I get in sometimes when I'm trying to read my scripts, but I was like, I can't do it, because if I sit and talk for like 2 hours straight, I am going to feel so ill, because I'm not going to have enough breath. I'm going to feel knackered. So I didn't do it. And I was annoyed at myself, because that was the ample opportunity. I had this whole day to myself to sit and record, and I didn't. And I'm like, you need to learn not to be so hard on yourself about that. But that's kind of why I'm talking about it now, is because at the moment, my ability to record has been kind of hampered by this, because I only have set times when I can record. I have a job, you know, I have a job. I have errands to run. I have places to be. I record when I have free time. And I prefer to record when I have the house to myself because I am, I get embarrassed if people can hear me. I mean, it's just me and my partner, but like I get embarrassed. I like to be alone when I'm recording if I can. And it's, you know, at the moment it's kind of a case of hoping that that the pots is going to line up with the days that I can record. You know what I mean? Like I need the good pots days to line up with the days that I have time to record. And if they don't, we get the situation that I had last week of like, oh, I was going to use this day to record, now I can't because I don't feel well. So I am going to try and put out videos as often as I can, but they are taking a little bit longer at the moment because of this. I'm also kind of hoping, there's stuff going on in terms of like my work, and I've been kind of hoping that I can get, I currently work 4 days a week, and I'm kind of looking to go back to 5 days is what I'm thinking, but just for money reasons, I would kind of like to bump back up to working 5 days a week instead of 4. Which obviously wipes out the day that I usually would use my day off during the week to do my YouTube stuff. And obviously if I lose that day during the week, it's going to reduce my ability to record further. So that also would have an impact. But at the moment, I honestly don't know whether or not I'm going to move back up to 5 days. It just depends of, you know, what's in the cards for me on the job front. But so at the moment, that's not an issue, but it could be in the future. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just, if you are waiting for videos, be patient. I will get there as soon as I can. I also, I brought my new trusty friend, because one of the things the doctor said to me at the moment with the POTS, they can put you on beta blockers, but she said that I am probably not at the point of needing beta blockers yet, and obviously they don't want to put people on medication when you don't necessarily need it. But one of the things she did say was that people with POTS need to be drinking between 2 and 3 litres of water a day. And she's like, how much water do you drink during the day? And I'm like, because I was one of those people who never drank. There were times I wouldn't drink anything all day, and it wasn't intentional. It was just as if it just didn't exist. Like I just didn't think about it. And I was like, right, she's like, you need to not do that. You need to drink. And I'm like, not fair. I know I need to drink. You know, that was it's something that I've been aware that I need to fix, and I just hadn't ever bothered to fix it. And so this is my new friend who encourages me to drink. It's my giant 2-litre water bottle, and it has inspirational messages on it. You can see it says like, remember your goal, keep it up, you can do this, and it tells you down the side like what time. So like right now it's like 9:30, and I'm a little bit behind time because it's sitting just above 9 a.m, so I need to drink some more. But it keeps me right, because like, you know, if it has got to 1 p.m and I'm not at the 1 p.m marker, I'm like, oh, I need to drink more. I'm not keeping up. So it does, and it is working because it's got its little handle, and I can just carry it around the house. So if I'm going upstairs to work, I just take it with me. If I'm going into the kitchen to do some cooking, I take it with me. And it means that I don't have to constantly think about like going and refilling my glass, because if I was drinking out of a glass, I think that was part of the problem, was that like it would get to the bottom of the glass, I'd finish it, and then I just wouldn't get up and refill it. Whereas with this thing, I don't need to, because it's like my whole day's worth of water. I mean, it's 2 litres, and technically I'm supposed to drink between 2 and 3, but I will work my way up to it. You know, I can't just go from drinking nothing during the day to drinking 3 litres of water. My body would probably not appreciate that. I'd drown. But yeah, so that's my new best friend. So hopefully, you know, with the lifestyle changes I've been given, that the symptoms will kind of reduce, or at least just become less awful. And, you know, maybe in time I'll just sort of learn to not notice it as much. I don't know. It depends. We'll see. It's early days. We'll see how we got on. But yeah, I also, I decided to, when Taylor obviously released the picture for her new album, The Tortured Poets Department, I am one of those people that keeps going to say Dead Poets Society. Tortured Poets Department, and I saw it and her lying in the bed, and I was like, I have such a funny idea. So I made this. The Tortured Poets Department. And that's me with my fatigue. Yeah, I mean, I'm making jokes out of it because that's what I do, but it's not really a joke. It's a chronic illness that I could see far enough, and I'm not. It is taking its toll on me. And the other day, I did finally kind of just sit and have a bit of a cry. I hadn't done that yet, and I was just sitting and I just had a bit of a cry because I was just angry. I was just annoyed. I was just pissed off that I was like, I didn't need this. I didn't need this in my life. I did not need another health condition. One of the symptoms of POTS as well is gastrointestinal issues. And I'm like, I already have like 3 different conditions that give me gastrointestinal issues. I have the celiac disease, I have generalized IBS, and I have chronic gastritis. And I'm like, I didn't need a 4th condition that gives me stomach problems. You know what I mean? Like, I already am living in a constant cycle of never ever having a stomach that doesn't hurt. Like, I didn't need that, but whatever. So we've got that as well. And the thing that's really, really, really getting to me is, you guys know I love to sing. Like, I'm sure you've noticed that I do quite often just like sing during my videos, especially if I'm like talking about music or whatever. And I'm even worse in real life. I sing all day. Like, you know that clip, the Victorious clip where it's like, she sings all the time. I think we all sing. It's me. That's me. And at the moment, the breathlessness means that I'm struggling. I can't sing so much because I keep running out of breath. And the thing is, I love to belt. Belting is my favorite kind of singing. I'm such a musical theater girly. And like, I like love to belt. And I can't belt because it's doing me in. On a good day, I'm fine. Like, if I sang right now, I'd probably be okay because I don't feel bad today. But on a bad day, it's really not. I can barely sing at all. Like, even if I'm just sitting working with my Spotify playing and I try and sing along, I'm like, and that's really annoying. That's really pissing me off because I'm like, you're taking away one of the things that makes me the happiest in the world. Like, singing is my happy place, and you're taking that from me, and that's really annoying. But you know, nothing we can do. Just gotta live with it. So yeah, I mean, I am annoyed. I'm annoyed that I've got another health condition. I'm annoyed that it came from COVID. It's annoying. It's annoying to think about. But I mean, you can't go back. You can't change things. We move forward. So, yeah, it is pissing me off. It is unfortunate. It is making me sad. But at the same time, it is what it is, and we live and we move forward and we find ways of dealing. And I suppose on the plus side, it has forced me to become more healthy, and that can only be a good thing. It's forced me to start drinking water. It's forced me to eat more vegetables, because that's one of the things you're supposed to do. You're supposed to eat more vegetables. And to be fair, I didn't have a massive amount of vegetables in my diet, and I don't know why. I love vegetables. I just didn't. They involve preparation, you know, they involve chopping and stuff like that, and I'm a lazy arse. So it's forced me to have to be more healthy and to eat more healthy. And honestly, I think in general I am feeling better for it. You know, it's like that meme where it's like, I hate to break it to you, but drinking water and having your 5 a day actually is better for your mental health. And it's like, yeah, I have discovered that not being dehydrated all the time is actually quite a nice feeling. It is nice to not be dehydrated. Drinking water is actually good for you. What a concept. Can't believe I didn't know that. So in that sense, it's a good thing. It's kick-started, it's forced me to make necessary changes to my life. But obviously it would have been nice to make those changes without this. But you take the positives, you know, you look for the silver lining. But yeah, so anyway, that's where I'm at. I apologize if my videos aren't coming out as frequently as they should be. I'm doing my best. If I do look kind of ill in them, I feel like I look really ill in the Halen and Eric video. I maybe don't, but to me, I don't look well. I know what I look like in the mirror normally, and I look at that video and I'm like, girl, you look like shit. Because I didn't feel well that day. And I recorded it anyway, and I'm like, you look ill as fuck. Your face is so pink, and it was not helped by wearing a pink top, but I'm like, girl, you look like hell. You look terrible. So, um, yeah, yeah. So if I am making videos and I sound a bit wheezy or whatever, that's why. And if I am not making them as frequently, that's also why. But they will be out when they are. I do have some stuff recorded. I'll try and get it edited and up for you. And until then, thank you for watching. Go and learn about POTS. Donate to the POTS Society. And I will see you in whatever I post next. Bye everyone!